So just a little tour of what I have. I have a few hutches in my backyard. We live in town. Luckily we can have our quail here. This was the first hutch we ever built. It has a nice little access door on the side. We're getting ready to put in some gates in the bottom so I can access the poop underneath and hopefully have a little compost pile. This also opens up on the inside. Have some mesh here just to keep the birds from flying out for eggs. Right now I have 6 babies in here that were born about 3-4 weeks ago, so they're pretty juvenile. They're by themselves. This one has my quail from last year. This is an old bunny hutch. We just kind of refurbished. The gate is just to keep my dogs out until we get our gates fixed so they don't eat the poop. Most of my birds are Coturnics. I have a few Egyptian Fee and some Goldens. They put off really nice eggs. So I got a door in the front, and then around the side for the indoor area so I can collect my eggs. It's been hot today, so looks like I have one. There's another one. These are going to go in. They're pretty small. A lot of my birds lay double yolk eggs. It looks like that's all I've got today. Still early. It's 3:30. Most of my quail lay late in the evening. I don't know if that's a typical routine for quail. Like I said, this is just my second year doing this, so we're learning. This was an old hen hutch that a friend gave me. I only have 4 birds in here. Had a few. This little white one. I had some eggs shipped. It wasn't a very good hatch rate. I had about 21 eggs, and I only had 3 hatched successfully. I don't know if it was a shipping issue, but I got this beautiful white one. I got this guy here. I don't think my phone is going to zoom in on him. Sorry, guys. But little penguin quail, and I have another rusty colored one. And then I ended up putting a female Egyptian Fee in with them just to see if I could get any eggs. This guy here is quite the bully. Killed a few juveniles that I put accidentally with him. Learned my lesson. Won't do it again. But anyway, that's what I have right now. So it's about between 22 and 25 birds outside right now. I have 8 in a brooder in my basement that were just hatched out on Monday. So it'll be another 2 weeks, but I'm going to go inside and show you how I set up my incubator. All right, so my incubator is not ready yet to show you guys. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you my fancy schmancy brooder setup that I have. Like I said, this is something that my family does for ourselves. We raise quail for their eggs, primarily for pickling. And then of course, when we have our excess male, we use those, we butcher those and eat those. Right now what you see is my latest hatch. They hatched on Monday. It is now Friday. So they're only a couple of days old. This is basically just a big Rubbermaid container with my lovely heat lamp hooked to a stool. I used to temp check this. I don't anymore. I usually set it up, just kind of feel with my hand. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are going to say, oh, you're doing it all wrong. This is my second year doing this, probably my 8th hatch. I have not had a problem with it. I have half of this Rubbermaid container heated. If I notice the birds moving away from it, I move the heat lamp further away. They also have a shaded spot. Well, there's one now, but until recently, I haven't seen any come over to this side, which tells me the side is not too hot. So, like, it's not a super science. I have found raising quail. I've watched lots of videos with precise heat temps and precise food, things like that. some of the things that I use, such as like the water. I get this really shallow watering container that is specifically for babies. And I also put rocks in there. I've never had any drown. But just to be on the cautious side, I'll probably remove those rocks. They are all drinking from this without an issue. So I'll probably remove those rocks in a day or two. There's my lovely feeding area for now. That'll change too. I'll have a regular feeder like this one over here in a couple of days. But when they're first born, I like to just, use those Tupperware container lids that have no bottoms to them. I do usually put their food in the blender and blend it down pretty much to a pulp, to kind of like a powder, just to make it easier on the babies when they're first born. These guys did really, really good. Ironically, they had a very terrible time hatching. I had to literally help all of them. We only lost one. We have 8 here about 2 days after hatching, or well, it was about a day after the 7 of them hatched successfully. I was going through the eggs that didn't hatch and found one out of, I think it was 7 eggs that didn't hatch. I found one, cracked it open. It was bleeding. I left it overnight, helped it out a little the next day, and he's one of these 3 dark colored ones, doing perfectly fine. So no, I don't like to help my quail hatch. I find a better success when I don't help them hatch. But if you do, here's 8 successes right here. I had to help each and every one of these out of their eggs. Quirky thing with my cat, decided to knock over the lid while they were on lockdown, and they all shrink wrapped. So every single one got helped. Here's what I use. I've heard a lot of people don't use pine shavings. I do. Cheap, easy, never had an issue. From Tractor Supply, it lasts forever. And then the food for the babies, I give them this Game Bird. This bag, it's not huge. I've now fed 20 babies off of it this season and still have over a quarter of the bag. I like it because it's 30% protein. So anyway, super easy setup. I have had no issues whatsoever. This is just a setup in my basement. Probably Monday, when they're a week old, I will start moving this heat lamp a little bit away from them. It is spring. It's been in the 80s here in Virginia. So they will probably go outside when they're just about 2 weeks old. So yep. Here, this is my hatch number 3 this year. All right, I'm going to go upstairs and see if my incubator is ready to roll. Okay, so here is my incubator. Looking a little rough. I have a cat who thinks he is a mother to all quail ever hatched in this. So you can see he's done some damage to the styrofoam, which is not a problem. It's still good. So if I can get the lid off, this I bought last year, a very inexpensive incubator off of Amazon. I had trouble with it last year. Found that the temp that it reads right now, it says it's 98 degrees. I have a thermometer inside that says it's 100. Typically, that's what I see when I incubate my eggs. I haven't had a problem. As long as it's between 99.5 and 100.5, I have not had a problem. Sometimes when that temp runs high at 100.5, I get a little bit of an early hatch. But other than that, it seems pretty good. The hygrometer, it's rating right now at 43%. I try to keep this below 50 through incubation, and then usually between 65 and 70 during lockdown. So you can see on here, I've written with my dry erase marker. I usually do on the lid the day I set them. So I'm going to set them this evening. Today is 5/24, and then I know that lockdown is on 6/8 in the evening. That will be day 15. So today is technically day 0. This incubator is set up with rollers. I usually set them every other one. This rotates every 2 hours. I have a cabinet liner underneath because I found with the bottom that it came with, I've had a couple babies born with, they developed splay leg. So I find that cabinet cushion kind of helps with the babies once they hatch. So those will come out at lockdown. But today I'm just setting my eggs for day 1 of incubation. So what I've pulled these from my birds from last year. I usually don't hatch a ton at one time. I'm not going to do all of these. These eggs here, they have all been pulled in the past 3 days from the birds I had last year. Typically, let's see, these birds, they're all Coternics, your typical Coternics, some Egyptian Fee, the typical size. I pulled some just to compare. These are huge eggs. You can see the size difference. These are usually my double yolks. I know to pull those out to pickle. This is an average size that I'll go ahead and try to incubate. So you can see we're rolling away. You can see the size difference. This guy probably won't hatch. So I pulled out a few of the bigger ones. Here's another one. They are just massive. So I don't like to incubate these because I don't think I'm going to get anything out of them. These are average sized, out of a hutch with, I think it's 2 or 3 males and about 7 females. A mix of males that I had kept over that were shipped to me from either Tennessee or Missouri. And then the other group from a farmer close to us here in Virginia. So that's what I have here. I also have a few that have been in the refrigerator. I've marked them with green. My hatch number 2, I did a little experiment. I had put all of my eggs early this season when they first started hatching in the fridge. I found from another local quail farmer that it was okay. Go ahead. Even if they've been in the fridge, they'll still hatch. So I did a little experiment, and in fact, it was my best hatch rate. Out of 11 eggs, I had 9 hatch, no problem, all from the refrigerator. They had been in there for at least 3 days, so I didn't have any problem at all. This one right here, I've marked with an X. This is a super teeny tiny egg. So here, excuse me, Ash. No, sir, not yours. My average size egg is right here. I have a quail that just started laying eggs, and I know for a fact she is with a fertile male. So I just wanted to give it a try. She just started laying. I don't think it's fertile, but I just kind of wanted to see what would happen. So we're going to put that one in just for giggles, see what happens. So these 12 are going in that I know are fertile. The ones that are marked just with green, those have been refrigerated, and the X one is my newly laying female. Like I said, I don't expect much out of it, but yep, all I'm going to do is lay it here. Just lay them in there on their side. I don't do point side down. They were point side down while they were waiting. I rotated them once a day. Just so that air sac does not stick to the shell. So just loading this up. They lay on their side. These rollers will turn them every 2 hours. And they will stay in here for 15 days, and then we'll lock them down. So I'll have sorry, don't want to do my big eggs. I will do a video. I don't usually candle my eggs just because there's my little X, my teeny tiny egg. I don't usually candle my eggs just because they're hard to see. So here we go. There they are. And because I have Ash, who likes to knock this lid off, I keep the styrofoam cover on at all times. This is on my kitchen counter. I have teenage boys, I have cats, I have dogs, and I don't want to risk it. So anyhow, I will, in a future video, probably close to June 8th, have an update on our eggs. Thanks, guys.